Okay, it is I, Claude Bars. I had been informed about an error in the timing of the show. The date is said tomorrow, and of course, it's meant to be now. And I'll try again and start the Balsamic Vinegar show. It's not going to be a long show, so if you want to come on, get into gear and do so. Lest I'm talking to myself. The other day we talked about the rally that they had up at the Ark, Ken, Ken Am's Ark, at the one that Kent Owen was going to be going and made a big deal about it, how he was going to go there and, you know, convert these atheists, and then he didn't turn up. It's so typical. It won't make any difference to his followers because they're used to swallowing everything that he says. So it won't it won't make any difference there. Now I'm just going to post a link in the chat. That often helps, doesn't it? Yeah. So that won't make any difference to them. They look for any possible excuse to let Kent off the hook, so to speak. I've been quite busy putting a few clips up recently of Kent, and there's a few that I think that you could look at and might enjoy. Now, one of them was he's talked about the accident at Mystic Creek. Although I don't know where God was during that. I thought God might have saved those people, including innocent babies. But he chose not to. I guess he's probably in Africa, dishing out famine there or something, or plagues of locusts. So he was busy and he wasn't able to help those many Christian people who, as Kent would say, drown dead, because he can't say the word drown. But anyway, he's invited people that have, come through that or whatever, or the camp to bring the people on down to Dinosaur Adventureland. Well, first of all, I think it would be sort of the last thing they're thinking about now. They probably just want to stay at home. They're probably had enough of water. And in a way, I was thinking for people who've somehow got through that it would be out of the frying pan into the fire, going to a place where water safety is reasonably casual, and resulted in someone, uh, poor child, drowning, according to Kent. Um, yes, although Kent could guarantee that if something did go untoward, that everybody else would have a blast and probably couldn't wait to come back and all those sorts of things. So anyway, I thought it's not a good idea for people to accept Kent's offer. There's two reasons for that. One is that he really just wants you for free labor, and to after a couple of days you'd be put to work, which in a way, I don't have a great problem with that if you're going to. But Kent always comes out on the right side of the ledger, that's for sure. For a little bit of food and a cabin, he gets you to work for him all day. There's no doubt that he is the winner. Um, anyway, that's the one reason. The other one is that it's only a few weeks or months ago that Kent was advertising for women or girls to go up to Dinosaur Adventureland to service the man cave. So I think it's another reason not very suitable. Hello, captive desk. It might just be me you're speaking to. Yes, it was a bit of a last minute. Often for me, I think, well, I'm free. I'm able to do a show, so I just do it, see what happens. Yeah, so those are the reasons I think that it's a bad idea for anybody that had anything to do with Camp Mystic to go to Dinosaur Land. After all, God didn't show much concern for them when they were alive. Why would he now? The other thing is, Kent, he's put up a thing, the cartoon, where some cartoon character says, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. So I've made a little clip out of that. I try and do just 1 minute maximums. And I've put up what he's saying, and then I put up clips of what he's actually said about people. The nastiest, most horrible things. This is a hypocritical bastard. Oh, Robin is in the audience too. Now, Robin, did you get to go to the rally? Did I see your name associated with that, or I got that wrong? Yeah, anyway, it's good to see you here, along with Captive Desk. Yeah, so I thought that was quite a contradiction. He's telling everybody to say nice things and blah, 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 but does the opposite. Then there's another one where I put up where Kent is saying that husbands and wives even can be poisonous to each other. Maybe he's thinking of that case, that mushroom case in Australia. I don't know if you read about that, where the woman has just been found guilty of poisoning several family members with what they call death cap mushrooms. Cooked up a nice meal for them and they died. Anyway, I don't know if he means that or not, but I think he still hasn't admitted publicly that Sandra's fourth wife is gone. Ah, hello. Hello to the big bad mama.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Loud and
How's it
clear.
going?
That's good. Yeah.
I just
You've
made
survived.
it home last night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was quite a trip for you to go there, so you did really well to.
Yeah, I mean, I was coming so far, and
Mm.
flying, so I wanted to maximize my time there because, yeah, it's a really beautiful area.
All
So
right.
the Ark Encounter protest was great.
Yeah.
Had a great time there, meeting everybody, including Captive Desk and
Yeah. Yeah.
Robin and Jay Bundy and
Mm.
Austin
Ted
Sims,
Bundy.
Karisu. Oh, do you
Oh,
know Austin Sims? Oh, Dr. Jay Bundy. Do you remember he's Pocket Locker channel, but he debated.
all right.
He was Kent's like 200th debate, or
Oh, wow. Oh.
he's a
Uh,
really good guy. And Robin, of course, Robin Webster, and uh, uh,
oh, yeah, breaking up.
Godless Engineer, and a whole bunch of
Yeah.
people. I'm leaving people out. I'm sorry. Ambushed Apostate. Yeah, so it's good. But Kent was a no show.
Mm.
And I don't know if you saw that video that he posted on Facebook, but he looked like he'd had another mini stroke to me.
Right. No, I'm not really a Facebook person, but I did. Oh, wait a minute. Someone repeated
He
it.
didn't post it.
Yeah.
He didn't. Maybe Karisu went
I think he
over it
did.
and
Yes, he
reviewed it,
did.
but
Yeah. And he
Kent looked
did.
pretty ragged in that video.
His face was a bit distorted.
Yeah.
I think God must have been, sending a warning shot across his bowels. Yeah. Of some sort, I think.
I mean, he better watch that.
But he's
thanks, Aiden. Just a
he's very. That seemed to be stuck on my screen. I don't know how to get it down.
Jeez.
Oh, that would have been funny if Aiden had managed to go too.
But somebody took a photo, and posted, and it was on Hoven's Facebook channel, basically with a photo saying, "Oh, parking's a disaster, and they're between the on ramp and the off ramp or whatever." But as you know, there was plenty of parking, and
Yes,
I
I
think that
saw
was
that.
just Joseph and maybe Boland and crew driving by, and just they didn't want to stop. And
No, they're
I
all
don't
full of
know.
bravado and bull. They really are. I mean, if it wasn't so sad, it'd be funny. I mean, just sad the way they live their lives devoted to Hovind. And
Well, the way they talk about it for weeks,
yeah,
like, oh,
yeah,
it's on the calendar, the Ark Encounter, and then all of a sudden it's not happening. And if Kent wasn't feeling good, that's fine. I mean, he didn't have to. If something happened to him, that's fine. He doesn't have to go. But to kind of make it seem like he was there and drove by, or why Joseph or Boland didn't even stop to speak to the group, which was the
yeah.
nicest group in the world.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're just just full of it. Oh dear.
It was pretty
Um,
sad that they didn't even stop.
Kurisu, he got stuck in a bit. Who's very saying how useless Joseph. He's the second person because, of course, um, uh, who's that? Brett Keane called for Joseph to be sacked, and then now Kurisu has said that he should be demoted.
Well,
uh,
Matt Powell was worse when he was doing the
oh,
video stuff. So Joseph was a step up, and Steve Lynn was nothing to write home about. I mean, I don't know if you remember what the video quality was, or the
yeah.
audio quality was in some of those, when Steve Lynn was running the show. But I don't think Joseph's doing any worse than those people are, and he's doing better than Matt Powell did.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've had the odd pleasant talk and the odd confrontation with Joseph, so that's fine. And to be honest, I don't want Kent to have too good a tech support. He might actually do
Right.
better.
He'll
You
reach more
don't want
people.
that.
Yeah.
Might reach more people.
That's true.
That goes against what I really want.
I know he should have put his compound somewhere that had a little bit better internet service.
Well, and I'm
Okay,
sure
that's
he could
interesting.
solve it. I'm sure he could solve it. Doesn't Elon Musk have these satellites, and you can get, costs a bit, but you can get internet coverage anywhere in the world now, can't you?
You should be able to.
I
Do
think
you
you
remember
can.
Kent was trying to get people to pay for his
6,000.
Ethernet or something? I don't know what. Well, that's his like TV station or TV show
Yeah.
or whatever. 6,000 a year.
Well, they could pay for Starlink. That's the word I was there. Starlink. Have you heard of that?
Starlink. Okay.
Starlink?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Well, I'm sure they could have that. And maybe President Trump would, being a good Christian, would sponsor it,
Right. Especially since now he knows who Kent Hovind is, right? Because they've written him letters and.
Oh dear. Well, he's had a few letters from me as well. So he's had a few people have sent emails, mainly emphasizing the connection between Kent and PDF files. Because we know that
exactly.
Trump might have a certain sympathy for the tax side, but he won't for the other. So he's not going to want a bar of it because of that. So perhaps COVID shouldn't have been recorded defending them and stuff. Yeah. That all goes off as well. So, but I tell you what, some of the I was replied to something on Mod's page from what's his name, talks his head off, Dan.
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, you didn't go to the rally, Claude." And I said, "Well, I mean, is the man that thick that he can't see the basic difference between me not going to the rally, who never said I was going to the rally, and
You're
someone
halfway
who
around the
boasted?"
globe.
Yeah, but the other thing is, if I had said I'm going and didn't turn up, then I would expect to be, held to account.
If every night you pointed to a calendar and said, "This is happening, we're going to be there."
Yeah.
Yes, and then you just
So
didn't say a word and you
yeah,
just didn't show up. You'd
you
be called
did
out
some
about it.
yeah. So can these people cannot see the most basic of
No,
logic? Yeah,
no.
it's really sad. And then I feel sad for their progeny because they're going to grow up really, really stupid. Oh,
Well, they
well.
bend the logic to serve
Mm.
their master. And, Dan is still like deep in Hovind world, even though he kind of tries to distance himself
Oh,
every
yeah,
now and then, but he's still in there.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yes. So, and did I see that Missing Mod has had a show on Proverbs Guide channel, or did I read that wrong?
I think she just showed up and talked to
All right.
Achilles and Dan, right?
All right. So it's not she. I'm just not sure if she's gonna become a host or not. You know,
Ugh,
which
I hope
we
not.
won for the books.
For
I
her
hope not.
sake.
I know. Well, we there is a record. I think I've even put it up of things that they have said. But it's a strange world, so we'll just see. And the good thing about it, because it was on her channel, I could comment, whereas I can't
Right,
comment on
right.
their channel.
Well, and I heard they
They
wouldn't. Well, no, that was Aiden. They wouldn't. Dan was looking to get Aiden on his show on the
right.
stream, and I think Aiden would be willing to go on there and talk to Dan. But Bolin said, "No, I'm not unblocking him," which shows, Dan is supposedly the president, right?
Yeah.
To talk about a puppet.
Yes, he's a puppet. Right.
I mean, we all knew it, but that just sealed the deal right there.
Oh, come on, Dan. Come if he's listening. He's possibly doing some gardening somewhere. I don't know.
Dan,
Or
are you
just
the president of Proverbs Guy
uh,
still or not? Come on and let us know.
and Dan, I want to know: does he hire immigrant labor to help him do that gardening stuff? Is he the brains that designs it, and then who does he hire to help out? Because oh, like then
I'd be surprised if they didn't use migrant labor in his organization throughout the
yeah,
years.
yeah.
It's a good point, Maria.
Yeah. So there is starting. So they could do that. Oh God, I've given them an idea now. The next thing, because he's just on the other day. We needed another Jeep. So he's got
he'll have 4,
but it's got to be a Wrangler and an open top to match the rest. So I said, well, that just looks as though beggars can be choosers, because he's just getting every day. There's a demand for something, someone to pay for the gas to go up and get this stupid crab thing. Incidentally, he published
that
the name of the
crab
guy
thing
from Track. Yeah,
it's so boring looking.
Yeah.
I mean, a horseshoe crab is just basically a big shell with a giant spine coming off the front or whatever. But to have, I don't know, to have that at your compound is just kind of odd.
To attract people, put them off. Yeah.
I mean, is he looking just to call it the largest horseshoe crab statue in the world?
I think so.
Because how many are there? I mean, there's probably 3 in the entire world.
Unless it proves God's wonderful design or some shit.
Well, they want to say that it hasn't changed form according to evolution in, hundreds of millions of years or whatever the length is. But, these animals have their DNA has changed through time and they've evolved.
Yeah.
That's true, Aiden. That's what makes Dan's show the best Proverbs Guy show is.
Yeah.
Sorry, Claude, I'm talking a lot.
No, go. I like it. Otherwise, it's go for it. Yeah, it's
Designer Dan is probably the best show. Now, I'm not pushing people to go watch it, but it is.
Well, I think the last one he may have had a word because suddenly Stephen and Achilles were showing interest for the previous several shows that there'd been one person watching. That was me.
Right. Or Robin.
Oh, yeah. Here's Aid and Dave. Hello, guys.
Hey, guys.
Oh, Dave's here. I know I won't be able to get a single word in edgewise. That's good.
Oh.
No, I'm just joking.
Oh, geez.
Oh, that was...
I'm
Hello,
joking.
everybody.
Hello, Dave.
And hello, Big Bad Mama, who I got to meet in person, and I know what their real name is, too. How about that?
Whoa. And the real
I know.
look, did
That's
you
true.
did you take his
That's true.
prosthetic face off and could you see the real him?
No, I
had
didn't
a
go
mask
that
on
far.
the entire time.
Oh.
But as soon
Go
as
ahead.
I got to Jim and Chrissy's
Shut up,
house,
Aiden. I'm kidding.
I heard the voice across the room, and I said, "I hear Big Bad Mama."
I didn't know you
I
were going to
tried
be there.
uttering Big Bad
so
Mama's
happy
real
to see
name.
that. What?
Well,
Aiden?
I said I tried uttering Big Bad Mama's real name the
Hey,
other day.
keep your
but
mouth
as
shut.
soon as I tried uttering that, my skin started smoking, and my eyeballs started turning red, so I had to stop.
It's just between us, Big Bad Mama. But hey,
Cool.
speaking of Big Bad Mama, now that we're old friends and we've met in person and everything, I'm going to hold you to coming on to the captive desk.
Okay, for sure. For sure.
All right. So we've got to set that up. All right.
Okay. Yeah, let's
Okay.
set it up. We can talk about the Ark encounter, our visit and stuff together. And I can talk about going to Dinosaur Adventureland and whatever you want to talk about. But that'd be cool.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, we had a good time. Aiden, how are you doing?
I'm not allowed to talk on this show, actually, so I'm just going to
come
keep
on.
quiet.
Oh.
You got the floor, Aiden. You got the floor. Go right ahead.
I see you're getting in. I see you're getting in trouble with Smokey Saint.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, if there's anybody on this earth that I would like to despise me, I would certainly like them to be among them. One of the measures of a good person, in my opinion, is the kind of company that they keep. And if I was buddy-buddy with somebody like them, that'd be a pretty good, sure sign that I was on the wrong track in life. So, yeah, I got Smokey so triggered the other day because he wrote something to Missing Mod, because he tried going on Missing Mod's channel, and I just wasn't having it. I don't want somebody like that to be associated with this community, to try and insinuate themselves back into things and act like they're a respectable member of society. So I just threw him out of the chat, and then Jill started complaining about it, and yeah, Missing Mod got blasted by him on a post because he was so triggered by it that he ended up making 2 posts about me, actually. So I had a good time arguing with his sycophants on there, and with him. It was pretty fun.
Good.
Yeah, and Robin, you're always welcome at the captive desk. Always enjoy talking with you.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm really
Go ahead,
hoping you guys were talking about Dan. I was really hoping to have a one-on-one with him on Missing Mods, because the thing with Dan is that whenever me and him have an interaction, there's like 6 other people in the room, and they always want to get a word in edgewise as well, which is to be expected. It's an open panel. But I think that if me and him were in an environment where he wouldn't have anybody else to defer to or anybody else interrupt or anything like that, I think that he would be pretty thoroughly exposed as not having any real substance to any of his arguments. But I don't think he's going to do a one-on-one with me between us.
Is he going to do a Hovend and run?
Yeah.
Well, he was asking about you. He was asking to have a one-on-one with you, but on his channel.
Right. He has no problem having a one-on-one with me when he's able to mute and throw me out of the room whenever he wants to be able to do that. I'm not surprised about that. I want him to have a one-on-one with me on a neutral channel where he doesn't have total control and authority over everything, and we can have a talk like men. And for some reason, those terms don't seem anywhere near as amenable to him. I've laid out the terms very clearly to him, and every time I do, he keeps changing the topic or acting like it's a topic that it isn't, or saying that I'm just going to do this, that, or the other thing. It's like, just accept the challenge, dude.
Yeah.
And Aiden, I have witnesses now. People have met me in person. They can testify that I do not use any voice mod. This is my voice raw through the microphone. So just so everybody knows.
I'm sure you have a Darth Vader voice pack underneath your shirt or whatever that you use to modulate your voice, but whatever.
Robin is saying, has anybody talked to Father Charles? She needs to text him. So
no. Yeah,
I was thinking about him just yesterday. Yeah, I haven't heard hide nor hair of him in a minute.
I suspect it's a woman, but I don't know for sure.
You think Chuck is a woman? That's an interesting
theory.
No.
No. Father Charles has found.
I know.
Well, it doesn't matter if it is a guy, but I suspect he has found someone.
Well, Chuck has a very feminine voice, so I wouldn't be surprised. You know. I'm just trying to lure him back on. That's all I'm trying to do.
Robin has just said she's texted him. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice to hear from him.
Okay. Hope he's all right.
I think he's all right. I think he's probably just got. Maybe he's got a life now.
Well, he's a pretty successful guy, from my recollection. Like he's pretty well off in his personal life. So this was always kind of a bit of a side thing for him. So if he's more focusing on that right now, good on him.
A side hustle. Yeah. Did you see that that thing about Kent trying to get the people from Camp Mystic? You know,
yes,
take them up.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
That's a low blow. Yeah,
it is really, considering what's happened there too. You know, and I think the last thing they want is to go up to Hoven land, and then after 2 days be put to work, and if they're girls, be introduced to the subjects of the man cave.
Did you see the meme going around with all the little girls in Camp Mystic shirts hugging Jesus in heaven?
Oh, no.
Jeez.
No.
Yeah, just bad taste. Terrible.
It is bad taste, but I also think, you know, that the point is, you know, people will say if look, Jesus saved people from drowning there. Well, there's many that he didn't. So that's the whole thing with this religious thing, is they're very quick to thank him if somebody survives, but not to blame him if somebody dies. You can't have it both ways.
It's just classic cognitive dissonance.
I was going to say, Hoven has such a bad record when it comes to that kind of stuff. You know, he's inviting widows groups to Dinosaur Adventureland, and he wants to paint it like he's this big humanitarian, you know, helping these disaster people out. But it's just to sell his stuff ultimately and to push Dinosaur Adventureland.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about his announcement of that kind of rubbed me the wrong way more than anything else is the fact that he doesn't tell them up front that, yeah, you can come here and stay for free for 2 days, but after 2 days, then I'm going to put you to work on my labor force. You know, he doesn't mention that in that, because even he knows that if he mentioned that there, it would make him look horrible. Yeah. But that's all that matters to Kent. The appearance of looking horrible is what matters. Doing horrible things to those people that are victims is not what actually matters to him.
Yeah, I think, and the other thing, you've got to worry, what if Brady Byram turns up? His record with kids isn't that good either. So, you know, it's just horrible. But he still gets money out of different businesses. You see, he was telling people to contact some Kubota dealer and give him business and thank him for contributing towards bringing down that crab thing. I actually wrote an email to the Kubota dealer telling him not to give anything more to Kent. So it does, it works both ways. Mind you, I didn't get a reply. But I think
I wonder why.
Dicing up the crab into tiny little pieces to get them on their tiny little trailers was hilarious. He's so cheap, he couldn't even rent a proper sized trailer.
It's one of the things I don't understand is that they try to use the horseshoe crab as an gotcha evolutionists. This hasn't changed in millions of years. It's like, well, for one, I thought you didn't believe in millions of years. I thought you believed that the Earth was only 6,000 years old. So something not morphologically changing in 6,000 years isn't much of a flex, even in the realm of evolution. But also, the lack of morphological change in the horseshoe crab is just a demonstration of another aspect of evolution, which is when a specific species has found a niche and that niche sustains itself for millions upon millions of years, there's really not much to prompt a creature to change morphologically.
Yeah, it's called stasis. And, those organisms are still changing genetically through time. They're not just staying the exact same genetically.
No, I was talking about
even though the
morphologically.
morphological changes are slight. Yeah.
Like the hagfish is another example. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I've done a video where somebody was calling out, "Hey, explain the horseshoe crab," and I said, "Okay." So I have a video on the horseshoe crab. I believe it's speciated at least once too. So
It's what, Dave? What did you say? What was the last thing you said?
I believe the horseshoe crab is speciated at least once.
Yeah, I mean it's not a gotcha. It's a principle in evolution. The coelacanth is the other thing they bring up. The horseshoe crab and the coelacanth.
I always bring up worms. I mean, worms are one of the oldest life forms, and there are still worms because they're really good at being worms.
Is that a coelacanth, did you say? I think it was B.S. Lewis, and I thought he was a Kent. I don't know. I get confused.
Oh no, he's an atheist.
Oh, good. He came up with a thing. He called him Chickent, which I thought was great.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use that in future. That was his.
Funny.
I have to.
That was very clever.
Chickent Hoven. I think that's. Why didn't I think of that? It's so obvious now that you see it. But that was good.
I kind of want to ask him about it during the open mic.
Yeah.
I was curious if you were going to say something to him, Mama. I was there.
Yeah,
I was there, Kent. I had my shirt on. I was all ready for you. Where were you?
Yeah, exactly. And that's probably how I'll put it. I don't
I
want to
wonder
be
how
too.
long.
I don't want to be too contentious because he really does look like he had a mini stroke.
Oh yeah,
recently.
I mean. Well, like I say, I started the day with my car wouldn't start, and the car was all packed. We're ready to hit the highway, and my car didn't start. So sure, things can happen, And if it had been a little later in the day or something, I probably wouldn't have been able to get parts. Luckily it was early enough. The shops are still open half a day on Saturdays, but it could have been where I could have been out of luck until Monday, and.
Right.
I would have dreaded making the phone call that I couldn't make it, but if I was thinking, oh man, I'm going to have to call Joe and tell him my car won't start. No, it was it was a dead battery, Robin. It's just one of those things that. But like Mike from Answers in Atheism told me, it could have been a lot worse. It could have crapped out on me once we left town.
Yeah, out on the road somewhere.
Right, and that would have, again, been even worse because on the weekend, out of town, trying to find a parts store, would have been even worse. So, it happened. I cussed, I fixed the car, and then I shook it off, and we went on about our way. A little bit late, but luckily I had left on Saturday. If I had left first thing Sunday morning, it would have,
that would have been tough to make it.
So I told myself, look, this is the reason you're going on Saturday, so you can get down there, take your time. We stopped and saw a Bigfoot statue on the way and everything. And that way, we were there and ready to go. And even if my car hadn't started, Dade Murphy was right across the hall. So I could have always, gotten a ride. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
I think, from my point of view, if Kent had had a stroke, yes, you could understand. But what I don't understand is when he doesn't tell the truth and he
Yeah,
makes
just tell the
excuses.
truth that you didn't
Yeah,
feel well and you
you
didn't
feel
go
well. Yeah,
because you didn't
don't
feel well. That's all you have
don't.
to say,
That's all you have to say. We don't need to know if he had an enema or anything else. We just need to know that he couldn't come. Although he does seem to try to come on quite often. But anyway, from what I've seen, but he lied. Sort of, he said he spreads bullshit.
He
Oh, there's
uses
no
it as an
parking.
opportunity to go after
Yeah,
atheists,
yeah.
and the
Just
fact that he couldn't
lies.
make it has nothing to do with the atheists.
No,
It's because
he's
he
just
couldn't make it for whatever reason. But just tell the truth.
yeah.
I will say, Robin. Robin knew I tuned up the car and changed the oil and everything, getting ready for the trip. And I will say, we got great gas mileage. Less than half a tank of gas one way. We did really good on the gas mileage. So tuning it up, I think, did help. And we did the round trip on a tank of gas. So pretty good.
What kind of vehicle do you have?
We've got a Hyundai Accent.
Oh, yes, they're pretty good. Isn't that the same as Koberger had, Brian Koberger? A white
He had a Hyundai.
Highlander?
Yeah.
Yeah.
White Hyundai.
I don't know why I thought of that.
We got the sport model. We have the rims and the sunroof and everything on ours. But and speaking of when we got there, Chris Mallard had rented a Hyundai because he flew in. And when we first pulled in the parking lot, Chris Mallard walked up behind the back of the car, and I thought he was going to be like, "Hey, Dave," And he's reaching down trying to get in the trunk and stuff, and yeah, he thought it was his car.
Oh, right. That's funny.
Yeah, they very, very similar looking. He had a slightly newer model, and the night before, my wife had mentioned, "Hey, he's driving the newer model of our car." So yeah, it was so similar. Yeah, he was trying to pop the trunk to get into his equipment.
that does happen sometimes. You see people go up to a car that looks as though trying to get into it. Yeah, but
every once in a while, Big Bad Mama's had problems starting their Lamborghini. I've heard. So yeah, it's a problem that happens to all of us.
The wrong Lamborghini. Yeah, they all look alike.
Push start it. Mind you, you could always buy Kent Hoven's Honda. The one that. I mean, Bolan already got the money for it and kept it.
Right. I was driving a Mitsubishi this trip, a Mitsubishi Highlander.
Oh. You could go off-road in that.
And
Elantra, not Accent. Elantra is what we drive. The Accent was the other car. My fault. We have an Elantra now.
Jay Bundy left his backpack in Ember's car. And so Ember left the event early. And so I drove Jay up the highway to go meet Ember to get Jay's backpack back because he had his passport in there. And so I actually left the event for about an hour or an hour and a half, an hour probably.
Well, that was nice that you helped Ember out because I heard Ember had to turn around. So thanks for helping Ember out.
Sure. Yeah, it was fun hanging out with Jay and just driving and listening to music and stuff. It turned out to be pretty fun.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. No offense to anybody, but I think I've known Jay the longest. Back when he first started his channel, I've been talking with Jay. So, I was like, Jay Bundy, come here, give me a hug.
Yeah. Take care, Seth. Have a great day.
Good to see you, Seth. Yeah, I do have a picture with you, Seth. If you want it, let me know. I'll get you a copy. And
the answer to Maria is no. Bolan didn't buy that Honda of Hoven's. I don't know what happened to the money.
He pocketed the money.
$2,000 in donations, something like that, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Hovind is the one that got that money, I think, ultimately. Maybe Bolan got part of it, but that was going towards Dinosaur Adventureland.
$6,000 for that.
Hovind wouldn't give that up.
Do you think that he would have used the money to pay for his wedding, Bolan?
Well, did you hear the story about that whole missing mod conspiracy that Bolin and
Yes.
Achilles were perpetuating. Aiden told me a little bit more about it, and it makes more sense now because Awake Not Woke told him the full story of what was going on. And we can talk about it some other time. It's a little bit of a involved thing, but it's interesting. There was an actual motive behind an evil motive behind Stephen doing that to Maud.
He was trying to see if she would say something. Yeah.
Well, he was retaliating. Was what he was doing. Well, in his mind, he was retaliating.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I was a bit cruel about him because, I said that, as far as the loaves and fishes story go, it looked as though Stephen had eaten the lot. He'd forgotten it was meant to go around. I suspect he's responsible for 90% of the food bill at DAL, so he must be worthwhile to Hovind to have him keeping him on because he wouldn't be cheap, Yeah.
It's true.
But he's so bloody ignorant, I speak better English than him.
Claude, stop fat shaming Stephen, Claude. Stop it.
No, I'm a bit porculent myself, but I'm not a bullshitter like him. So.
It just shows your heart of darkness, Claude. That's what it shows. I love
if Mama or anybody else, if you want any of my pics or whatever, just let me know and I'll send them to you.
Ooh. Cool.
Jens is in the audience and is happy to hear
Hi,
non-believers.
Good to see you back here.
Yeah, so real quick, for those of you that saw the video, there was somebody on a hill filming us saying, "Oh, look at the idiot atheist down there." And we have an infiltrator. We're going to find out what's going on. And we were kind of laughing it off. But then I heard from Austin that, apparently the person on the hill sent their son down. And they did. They said, "Hey, what's going on?" And Austin talked to the person. And he said, "Well, this is why we're here, And he said he was a perfectly nice young person. And
he just asked a question, right? And then he took off after that.
Yeah. He said, "What are you doing?" And Austin said, "Well, we're protesting because of the taxes and the pseudoscience and all that kind of stuff." And he said, "Oh, okay." And yeah, he's perfectly nice and was brave enough, unlike his old man, to walk up and say, "Hey, what's going on?" And he asked, and Austin explained, and he said, "Oh, okay, thanks." And he went on about his way. So the
was he the guy in the black truck?
We're thinking. Chris posted the picture of the truck with the license plate number. It was a Texas license plate. So.
Yeah, there was a guy that kept coming by and cussing and flipping the bird, and I don't know. They were like revving their engine and doing all sorts of stuff, but
and then it put somebody on the ground, and that was the other little story. The person that got blasted by the exhaust that was sitting on the ground for a minute, turns out that is Pastor Anderson's nephew.
Really?
And they were there as a Christian, still a Christian, but doesn't like what his uncle or the Ark and everything else represent about Christianity, giving it basically a black eye, so to speak, or whatever.
I don't think I met that person.
Yeah, they were, I don't want to misgender them or anything, but it looked like a young man that had the black skirt on. It was out by the road with the sign and everything.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how they identify or what. I don't care. I don't know, but I did notice the young person with the skirt out by the road with the sign, and that was the person that had to take a knee for a minute after they got blasted by the exhaust.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That's
so
bad.
again, we were hot. It was fuzzy. We weren't, but as things have come in now, I've put pieces together. So yeah, that was the Pastor Anderson, the hate preacher.
Interesting.
That was his nephew there as a Christian, and to support what was going on, because he doesn't, or they don't feel like his uncle or the Ark properly represent Christianity. So that was interesting as well.
Yeah. Good to see you, Carissa.
There's Chris. Hey, we was just talking about you. Yeah, your video with I think it was your video with the crab all cut into tiny pieces. It was just hilarious. That thing is never gonna look right again. It's just not.
No, how do you put it's fiberglass? So how would you put that back together?
It's gonna be all
glued.
It's gonna look like
Crap.
Somebody broke something and put Elmer's glue all over it to put it back together. That's what it's
going
gonna look like.
It's going to look as though it's evolved into a different kind of crab. It's going to actually prove evolution. This looks different from the.
Yeah, and they didn't just cut it into like I say, if you would have had a proper trailer, maybe cut it in half or something. No, they cut it into
tenths or something. Right?
Yeah, it was in a whole bunch of little pieces that were maybe I couldn't tell from the photo, but I would say maybe 10 by 10 pieces or something like that. They completely diced it up into tiny little pieces.
Whatever happened to that 1/3 scale arc they were building? Whatever happened to that project?
It's still unfinished, and they still need $40,000 every time they say we've completed more on the arc, but we still need $40,000. That amount never changes.
He had a picture of it. It was like one little part is like kind of a frame of a box, and then they've got a bunch of posts sticking in the ground that are supposed to be the rest of it. So yeah, it's I've been asking Mama on updates, and so when I saw the picture, it hasn't changed much since a couple months ago.
Yeah, and the Ken Ham arc encounter, the arc looks like it's turning black. I don't know if that's from water damage or.
Well, according to Ken Ham, that's how that wood ages, whatever kind of wood they used. Because when he's asked about it, he said it was expected to get that, what do they call it, patina or whatever on it? Because patina, yeah, because it gets it gets like that. It kind of it grays with age. So that's his excuse for. Of course, they could have treated it or something. Yeah,
they could have lacquered it. You would think
something,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, originally it was the color of the top of Dave's avatar there, kind of this light brown color.
I have to dismiss Dave's avatar immediately as false, because there's no giraffe sticking its head out the freaking window.
No, I have Ken Ham. I have Ken Ham as Fred Flintstone piloting it in the video. So I was going to put animals on it, but it is too hard to Photoshop animals onto an image because I turned it into video, right? So the boat is moving up and down, and it was just it was all I could do to put Ken Ham on and move him up and down a little bit, trying to put all the animals on and have them sync with the. I didn't do it. So, but I did have animal pictures downloaded, including giraffes, but it would have just been way too much work to try and Photoshop them in.
Robin thinks gopher wood.
Gopher wood.
That's what the original ark was supposedly built from, but I don't know that. What is gopher wood anyway?
Nobody knows.
But Ken Ham didn't use gopher wood, whatever it is.
Well, he used to
it's just sheathing or whatever, it's not even
it's probably plyboard over a
it's a boat shaped building, so it's not built as a boat, right? So all they had to do was they put Tyvek all over it and then just put the the covering over it, so it's all mock.
Robin says, look up gopher and orangutans. I don't know what's in here.
Well, you
That's
know,
not
the
a good
thing with
way
the
to talk
gopher
about
wood that I
bombs.
never thought of before is that stuff is so tough. Creationists say that it's nuclear proof, it's fireproof, it's flood proof, it's tsunami proof. It's some tough stuff, right?
It's nuclear proof.
Oh yeah.
They could drop a nuke on that thing and it'd be fine.
proof.
Major Coleman, who I covered in a video, said that it released the equivalency of I don't know how many atomic bombs when the fountains of the deep
burst.
Yeah, so it's nuke proof. Well, here's the other problem. If this stuff is so tough, that would add even more of a problem to Noah having to work with that wood, right? I mean, what does it take to cut wood that's nuclear proof? You know?
Yeah. Oh, he had an adamantium hacksaw. Come on now.
Not that I'm trying to dissect the ridiculousness of it or anything, but
I mean, like,
it does add a problem that if this wood is that tough, what did they use to, work it, right? I mean, you can't use a normal, a hatchet or a saw or anything. It would have just dulled out.
Hey, Claude, I have to get going.
That's
I'll see
all right.
you guys later.
Yeah.
All right,
take
Mama.
care, Big Bad Mama.
Great to see you guys. Bye-bye.
Yeah, cheers then. Bye.
What I want to know is where's the insect terrarium on the Ark? Like where's all the petri dishes to keep all of the bacterium that can only exist in a land-based environment alive? Like where did all those end up? Strange how that wasn't mentioned in the Bible.
Yeah, and Hovens added to the Bible by saying they were all babies. Well, if they were, the Bible would have said that because it's perfect, wouldn't it?
Well, putting them to sleep and hibernating and everything goes against the Bible because it says to bring enough food and water for all the animals. So they're trying to get around that because obviously the food would have taken up more room than the animals themselves.
Well,
so they try to get around it by saying, well, they were babies, they didn't eat as much. Well, babies eat a lot. And trying to get around bringing food on board when they're skipping. The Bible does say, it doesn't say much, but it does say bring enough food and water for the animals.
And not only that, but there are several predatory animals that only feed on live prey. They don't feed on anything that's dead. It's literally like built into their genetics to avoid things that are already dead. They'll only eat things that they have hunted and killed themselves. So how did those end up surviving for either 40 days or 40 nights or 11 months, depending on your interpretation?
Jen says, where were the lions?
There's a meme that goes around with a big fat lion that says, terrible cruise, but great buffet.
There's another the most common illustration for the two lions going on the ark. Both of them have got manes.
Yeah.
Male lions.
Well, creationists are not biologists, so they don't understand that.
But at least they're accepting homosexuality in that case, so that I don't mind that so much. Oh dear. Yep. Kurisu's going to stream later today, so that's good. Okay, so we'll keep an eye out for that. Yeah, the two lions, the big lion eating and the two lions with manes. Yes.
Well, if you haven't seen me enough, I'm on with Simos on Thursdays. He has a show about 4 hours from now. And I'm set up with Bree to talk about one of the Bigfoot guys next week. I'm moderating a debate the week after. And the week after that, I'm going to be on Skeptic Haven with Neil the Atheist. So I'm very popular these days. So look for me to be here, there, and everywhere, including here talking with Claude, which is always a pleasure.
Oh, it is. It's always good to have a little show. I don't do many shows, but because with the Gangster Ghost not doing shows at the moment, it's left a bit of a drought. And Mod does the odd one. So
someone needs to pick up the slack.
Somebody's got to do it. Yes.
Every Saturday we do gather for Saturday night at the Atheists, and coming up here, it's just about a year now that we've been doing Saturday Night at the Atheist every Saturday. So.
Nice. Well, I'm going to go as well, Claude, but it was
Yes.
fun being on
No,
here.
no,
Good
well,
to talk
I
with
like
you.
to
Same
wrap
with
it
you,
up
Dave.
anyway, because an hour show for me is about right. And I also got to put up a short of Kent Hovind's pastor, ranting and raving his last stream, So to save you watching a lot, I've got some edited highlights as well. But he's just ranting. It's a real good old fashioned Baptist screaming, yeah.
Yeah, good to talk to Aiden, and good talking with you, Claude. And I'll look forward to seeing you next time.
Absolutely.
Okay, guys. Yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks for
Alrighty.
coming. Bye then. Cheers. See ya.